Well, they've tried it for all of this. Mark Watt was put down very early. Basir Ahmed, the fielder, very annoyed with himself on his 12th man. Got some words of comfort. But George Munsey was a man in form this afternoon at the first of his sixes. And that was the first breakthrough. Mark Watt gone. Singh bowled this in well. Watt moved down the wicket to try and thump it down the leg side, but he was defeated. And then Munsey decided that it was time to strike some more runs. Boy, did he go for it. The sound of the bat, great catch coming from one of the members here, and taking the applause as well. Nicely done off the roof, who got the assist. He became hard to bowl to for a while. So Scotland were motoring, as I mentioned, they were looking at potentially over 200. But this was important, high in the air. Lokesh Bam just let his captain come in and take that. And Padel with a wonderful catch to dismiss George Munsey, who was back to the pavilion for 78. It was an important breakthrough, and Lamashani made things even more difficult for Scotland when he bowled Brandon McMullen, who decided to come down the ground and try and open up, and the ball just didn't come onto the bat as he expected. And Sandeep Lamashani has had a good tournament. That was put up in the air, and it was well taken. So the wicket started to fall for Scotland, and that really did affect the run chase. Finlay McCreath there, you see, going out early just for a single. Rajbansi. Scotland did try and accelerate things, but Lokesh Bam was the man to take care of the Scottish captain. And Bertel, who came on, he was the last bowler to come on, certainly bowled very tidily and got the wickets. Scotland were left with Michael Leask and Matt Cross to try and get that tally as close to 200 as they could. And Michael Leask certainly not hanging around, thumping that six. It's been a really good series with the bat for on early, and they got a wicket that they desperately wanted. Bertel out down onto the boundary, and that was a fine catch from Finlay McCreath. And the man who's been in the runs was dismissed. Sharkey played himself in nicely afterwards, but there was a couple of bad shots. You can see how far McCreath came round to take Bertel. There's one or two shots that just weren't quite what Nepal would have been hoping for. And there's the one I mentioned from Liam Shakri, and that was nicely taken by Watt. Got himself underneath it and settled it well. Sharkey a very quick 12 in and out. This was a run out, direct throw to the stumps, and Chris McBride taking care of Asif Sheikh for 14, sent back by his captain. It was a tough one. There was some really good work in the field for Scotland, and it did set the tone. Sayan Sharif came through, and Scotland's leading wicket taker across all cricket showed again the danger of just that direct ball. And sweeping across went Arif Sheikh, and he joined his brother in the pavilion. It was 40 for 4. Well, Scotland didn't always get it their own way. There was one or two that reached the boundary, but this one just falling short. And Rohit Padel caught by Graves in the deep by Watt after building 27. And you just felt it was slipping away. Lokesh Bam again tried that sweep shot, but again Scotland had a man in the deep, and Bam was caught by McCreath for just 5. The man who'd blasted 2 sixes yesterday didn't get the opportunity to do so today. Dipender Singh Ari was the next wicket to fall. Scotland putting the pressure on him and just cutting the ball onto his own stump, and you could just see the off stump getting caught by the ball. That was a good breakthrough for the Scots. But it's one thing to take a wicket, it's another to follow up absolutely back to back. Laman Shani sent back to the pavilion, 1 ball faced, and the Golden Duck. By that point, it was really just a question of when. 2 wickets falling for 117. The next one fell at 144. The reverse sweep. And again, Mark Watt in the right place. And Rajan Dakel went. Good bowling. And Watt again. A reliable pair of hands. Well, Singh tried to hold out. Did the best he could. But they tried to come back for a second, and how quickly George Munsey got this one in here, and it was a clear run out, easy decision.